Hi and welcome to another episode, and what we've got here is, well, you've probably figured it out from the thumbnail and the title, everything that my wonderful wife got me for Christmas. Again, it's always late, I know, but if you're not a follower of this channel, you'll not know why, but if you are, over a few years, you should have learned by now. Basically, we end up celebrating Christmas on the 1st of January because of work commitments. Simple as that. So, I've only had these for a couple of days because today is the 5th and I've been working as well, so I still haven't managed to play around with any of it. The first one I'm going to point out to you is this, The Wonders of the Night Sky. And basically it's a nice little, I think you need to assemble it and everything, but you end up with a night sky chart and you'll be able to look up at the sky and figure out what stars which where. And then a little book that tells you about it. So let's have a quick look. Oh, I need some things to get in. So listen for the click, click, click. Right. This is me opening it for the first time. Oh, those wonderful clicks. I keep forgetting about doing it, don't I? There we go. Alright, let me in. It says some stuff on the back. Learning a new skill is always exciting. We're here to help to get you started. So there's a little booklet. And those funny little clippy things. Oh yes, you do self-assemble, which I shall do later because I want to enjoy doing this. Basically what you do, you fold this over, put that little pin thing in, and then you line yourself up to where you are, like this, at what time of the day it is and everything, and which way is east and north and everything, and what month you're on, and you'll be able to figure out what stars you're supposed to be able to see in the sky. And if you're in the southern hemisphere or the northern hemisphere. I'm surprised it's south then north, not north and south, but who cares? So looking forward to using that. And I know you can get apps and everything on your mobile phone that does it all automatically for you, but there's something about just using your eyes and figuring it out. So yeah, dot to dots. So what was the age range on this? Maybe I'm a little bit too old for it in the realms of where it's thinking, but you're never too old to learn, are you? So, does it say anything? No. I'm surprised it doesn't. It says, this craft kit is designed specifically for adults crafting only. Oh, so it is for adults only. Oh, come off it. Well, maybe not 9-year-old, but I would say 11-year-old. I mean, definitely a teenager is more than old enough to use this and figure it out under some adult supervision. I'll put it that way, just in case there's some kind of law that can get annoying at me. But yeah, I think an adult with a kid that understands what they're doing, I think an adult could be quite happy with this, because basically what they're really worried about, I'm assuming, is that, because obviously that's a choking hazard. But I shall play around with that some other day. But it's something nice to be, you know, get it all going, go for a walk, and you know, look up at the night sky on a clear day, if we have any of them left in the UK, and see what I can see, instead of just relying on an app, which is nothing wrong with doing that, but this will get me going. Anyway, next one. Well, a few years back my wife got me a clock for in here, but it started being weird, it's losing time and everything. So she's bought me another one, different style. I've had a bit of a go with it just to make sure it works. Basically, it's quite simple really in the realms of what it does. It tells you the time, and it's got a built-in alarm as well. So you run it from USB power, not fast charge though, it does say don't use a fast charger. It's got a wire and it plugs in, and let's see how bright it is on here. So the fact that it uses USB, I can plug it straight into my computer. I've got enough cable, I have. You probably can't hear me too well now because I'm junta into myself, look in the wrong direction. There we go. Oh, that's bright, isn't it? There's 3 levels of brightness. It's defaulted to 8 AM because it's not being used, but well, I do need to sort of test it. But when I set the time, there is a battery in it. It's a CR2032, the same that you'd use on a computer motherboard. So I'm sure you got a couple of them kicking around. It's got a peely bit. Do I peel it now? Do I? Oh, for those people that like that kind of thing. Ta-da! That's that done now. But yeah, nice and bright. That'll sit underneath my main monitor now on the second brightness level, which I think I can probably show you. Remember how to use it. I think it's just, oh, that's the alarm, turn the alarm on and off. There we go. So there's full brightness. I can still see it, and it's really, really dim. I seem to remember it was even brighter than that on a proper USB thing, so it might depend on how good your USB power is. But the camera's also not picking it up so well. But full brightness is a bit too much to be sat glaring at it all the time. I found that the second ones, I can still read what it's saying. You can't on camera because of the way that lights work, but I can still see that it says 801. Yeah, I probably could do with turning the lights off. Let's see if I can do that. Alexa, turn the office light off. Okay. There you go. See? Nice and bright, even on the second dimness, in the dark at least, but with the lights on I can still see it perfectly fine. Alexa, turn the office light on. Okay. So, on to the next present, and this one is one of these. It's by Mills Associates Limited, and it's the Load It dataset. Basically, let's open it up. It's a little mod for the 1530 data cassette drive thingy for the Commodore 64 or the like. And you mod it and you stick it here, just underneath where the light is and the tape counters and everything. Just here. I'll bring it up, and there you go. You stick it there, and you mess around with the what was it called? Oh, what's it called? I knew the name of it. Oh, anyway, the little tuning, not tuning bit, but the little bit in the middle. So sorry, I've forgotten what it's called. Tip of my tongue. Basically, you mess around and stuff, and there's a little screw hole thingy, adjusting knob as it calls it. There's a proper name, I forgot what it's called. Anyway, it moves the tape head backwards and forwards, and you need to get it just right so that the data that's coming through is, as long as the tape is okay and the belts and the drive and everything are perfectly fine, it will load nicely. But it has to be set just right. Well, close enough to being just right. And by doing that though, this will show some little red LEDs so that it'll make it easy for you to know that you are getting a decent signal. You won't have to go, oh, is it not or not? Is it or isn't it? You'll always know. So nice little mod that I'll have to do to one of the data sets that I have. I have 2 of them. I'll apply it to one of them. So this is a future product for us to have a look at later down the line. So I'm looking forward to getting that one installed. Just move that off to the side for now. And then another little mod, which is for my Amiga A1200, the Bifrost. Or Bifrost? Bifrost. Let's mess around and get into this. Now, for the people that have followed the channel over some years, will know that I've already got something kind of like this in my Amiga already, and it's very, very good. But this is basically version, well, actually 2.12, and what this does, which you can get from the bifrostproject.com, let me do the rustling over here so you can hear what I'm doing. Saying, rather. It changes the LEDs on your case. You have to open up your case. And instead of having just the stock colours that Amiga wanted you to have, or Commodore wanted you to have rather, it lets you get going. These ones are a bunch of new colours. And there seems to be a little bit of self-assembly, which is perfectly fine. And it means though that I'll be able to get not only the floppy drive flashing away. In my case, I've got a GoX, which is kind of a fancy Gotek thing, and the hard drive, which in my case is what is it called? An M2 that I have in there. Oh no, I've changed it, haven't I? What is it now? Anyway, your hard drive flashy lights in there, but also you can run a wire and go across to your PCMCIA and have it do flashy lights there as well. So this is what all this gubbins is for. That's going to be another project I'm going to have to do and learn. It's a little bit more involved than I thought it was going to be, but that's fine. I'm sure I can get my head around it. It says in it that there's no manual in the box. It also says on the box though that they take no responsibility for blowing up your Amiga, which is fair enough. But they have tested it an awful lot. And then we go on to another present. And this is the Dobe wireless keyboard for a Series X or Series X or the X1 SX stuff. And all it is, and we've all seen these sort of things from yesteryear all the way back to the 360, maybe all the way back to the PlayStation 2, I can't remember. But you get a gamepad. What have I done with my gamepad that I use? There we go. You get a gamepad and you stick it. It's got audio capabilities, so you pull that out if you need it. I don't, because I've got a wireless headset downstairs. Anyway, the reason why I can't put it in is because it does need to use a dongle, which, there it is. Plugs in there, and you plug the dongle into your console, and instead of messing around with other buttons and everything like that, trying to figure out what game you want to buy or tell someone they're fantastic at Rocket League, you can just type it all in. It uses the battery, to get power to this so that it talks to the dongle, it uses the battery from your actual gamepad. So of course that's going to kill it off a little bit quicker than what you're used to in the first place. But I've had a little bit of a go with it, as you may have noticed. I've already opened it up, and it was dead easy to set up. So it's just basically stick the dongle in, follow the instructions, stick the dongle in, press the sync button, and then that's it, done. It was really that easy. So I'll move this all to the side and get on to the next present. And for those that follow the channel, you've already seen this one. I've already opened it and everything like that, so I'm going to do that again now. There is a video to it, so blah, 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 the links to that. But I will be doing another video on this, on what it's actually like to play with, because I haven't done that properly yet. So I will do that, find out if you can add games and so on. I've been told that you can, but we'll see how well it goes and how good the paddles are. But that'll be in a different video. So on to the next one. Oh, there is an awful lot of glare on this one, so let me slide it out of this plastic bag. Can we see? You can see now, can't you? But there still is a lot of glare. There we go. By Gregory Nakul. I really hope I haven't ruined his surname there, but comes all the way from Canada as far as I remember. Basically he's sat and written all this pretty much all by himself, and it's to use on a Commodore 64. You can use it on a 128 as well, but I don't really think it's got as much definite support for it for that. It comes in an SD card, and you get it installed using one of those SD card reader type things, and you play around with that, and you end up with a full-blown operating system, as in it's got forms of windows, menu bars, scrolly bars. I've not really played around with it an awful lot at the moment. Well, actually, I've not played it around at all at the moment. What I mean is that I haven't got it installed yet. That's what I meant to say. I know some other people have already done reviews on this and everything, but I'll be doing one eventually as well, because I also know he's adding stuff to it. In fact, I'll leave that out there for now. He's adding more stuff to it, so maybe even more things to be doing, because obviously this is version, you can't really read it, can you? It says version 1, but as I say, he's added stuff to it already. So we'll see what happens. On to the next present, if I can possibly put this somewhere. Those that follow the channel will know that I've already got Blitz Basic 1 and 2.0, but I have version 2.1 now, which is what I'm really looking forward to having a good look at it for. I did program a little bit back in the day, but never really on the Amiga or the stuff. I programmed a little bit on the Spectrum, gave up. Programmed a little bit on the Amiga, gave up. And then went off and did qualifications in programming, and I was pretty good at it, and blah blah blah. But I got bored of it, so went off on a different career path instead. I got bored of it mainly because of the people that I was bumping into that did programming. They just didn't seem a particularly nice bunch of people, at least the people that I was bumping into. I've met people since that are very nice and everything like that, but it was just, at the time, you know, young and foolish, and everything has to be perfect or not bother. But anyway, version 2.1 with the binder, which is great. And then I opened up another present, and it's this. I can't believe that my wife's managed to find the 2.1 on floppy with the binder, but also picked up Ultimate Blitz Basic on 2.1 on Amiga CD, which she knows that on my Amiga I have originally I had a DVD drive, but now I've got that PCM CIA SCSI version and everything. I've got to get hooked up properly still. But she knows I've got it, so she bought me this as well as. And now she fell across them when I've been trying to find them for years. I don't know, maybe she just landed really lucky, or jumped on them before my eBay was telling me, hey look, spend your money. So with this, it's a different box, and you pretty much end up with a CD. And whoever purchased it originally bought it on the 7th of January 1998, it says on here. You can just about see, I think. There you go. 1998, they used cash. Handed over in fact, they handed over exactly £19.99. Now, £19.99 in 1998 was a fair bit of cash in itself, but it seems it was on sale. So I think it was a lot more expensive than that when it first came out, but it was sold in Birmingham at Electronics Boutique. And there's the back of it. And it seems to have everything else in. The CD is immaculate. It was obviously put in, installed, and then forgotten about. Which is pretty much what you need, isn't it? From what I understand, there's a bit of annoyance trying to get it to install, but there's scripts out there now that make it really nice and easy. Maybe that's what was wrong with it. They couldn't get it into install properly. But something I've been after for years, and now I finally have, even if it is just going to sit on a shelf collecting dust. I do have them. So, remarkably, on to the next present. The followers of the channel will know that I'm a big fan of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Again, I've been looking for something like this for one of the many computers that I have to match up. This is the Amiga version. Maybe you can just see Bottom left there, 3.5-inch disc. Well, it will be for the Amiga, won't it? So it has all the stuff at the front of it, and I've given the secret away already. It's got the feelies. So let's open it up. Take it out of here. Whoever had this before was a genius at... Don't ruin the box, because all they've used to glue it in the first place is glue dots. So if they had just gone reh, they'd have wrecked the box. So they knew what they were doing when they did that. And then they've carefully cut out a cellophane to get into the bit in the middle. So we have the Don't Panic badge. Sadly, they did decide to wrap it around the, or the pin as you might call it in other countries. There we go. They did decide to wrap it around the shades, because obviously you don't want to see what danger's coming to get you. Let's close this up again, because I'm going to store it differently now. Don't Panic badge, as we call them over here, but as I say, in other countries call them pins, don't you? We have the microscopic Space Fleet. They're in there somewhere. They're obviously microscopic. I'll have to buy a magnifying glass. A microscope even. Dear me, wake up. Bag of fluff. And then fill this out and we'll fill you in. So, you know, basically could cheat. Sadly, I don't think that's redeemable anymore. And then there's the warning that the planet is going to be destroyed to make a superhighway. And then, of course, down in the bottom of somewhere in the council, probably down next to the toilets, is to let you know that your house is going to be destroyed. Then there's a poster of the different games that Infocom does, or did rather. I have stuff, and I know there's people out there that collect them all. And then there's a little bit that tells you how to actually load it up on the Amiga. And then there's the open this when you really need a hint. So yep, you can send off and say I need help and maps and whatever else. And then the floppy disk itself. Again, this is something I've been wanting for years. Maybe not necessarily on the Amiga. I'd have been happy with any version that worked on one of the many computers that I have, but I wanted the original Infocom box, not the the resale one later on, because the retail later on doesn't have all the feelies. So if someone can tell me how you get rust off of paper or cardboard, that'd be nice to know. I mean, it's a bit annoying that there's a bit of a etch, but at the same time, I'm ecstatic that I have this. So we'll carefully put all this back in again. And then on to the next present. So ta-da! Yet more stuff that's reflective. It's Fusion 2023. This isn't a CD. It is a calendar. So if I set it up like this, it would sit on your desk like that. And then different covers that they've done previously. Let's move that to one side. Coaster, pen that says Fusion Retro Books, and it has the Crash and the Zap logo on them. We've got the Fusion magazine for the Dreamcast. This was all Kickstarter, by the way. Then there's the Commodore Zone. Got that one. And then we've got the Fusion Annual. Obviously these are all in A5 size. We've got the Amiga Zap, or the Zap Amiga book. We've got the Crash one. We've got the Amtix CPC version. We've got the Toy Polo-y? There's not an extra L there. Polo-y. Dear me. Learn to read. Right, and the Zap 64 annual. So, all the annuals from Fusion, pretty much for 2023. On to the next one. Well, you might think everything's suddenly got very big. It has, because my wife did the A5 backing thing on Kickstarter. There was going to be no A4s, and then suddenly people say they want A4s, and there's A4s. So she bought them as well, because she knows that I'd rather have the A4 versions of the annuals. Because let's be honest, when you started off with A4, you want A4, you don't want shrinking down to A5. Not being annoying and not being meh about it all, because it's a wonderful gift that my wife has got me. I'm not trying to bring this Christmas video down, but money could have gone elsewhere if it had been known that A4 versions were actually coming out. Anyways, the final present, I think it's the final one. In fact, I'm probably sure it's the final one. The next one though, I don't know if it's going to fit on the camera. Wait and find out. And here we are. I have no idea why she bought me this. It's not as if I've wanted one for years and 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 years. When it comes to getting a decent steering wheel for the PC, I've tried before of like cheaper versions, which are definitely not that good. I've had steering wheels for like the PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox and Dreamcast, but I gave up on them after then. I've never spent the money on getting a fancy one, and it turned out that Amazon was doing quite a decent sale on these, so my wife has jumped on one because her idea is if I don't get one now, I'll probably never get one. So as far as I know, this is like the step up from the G92 or the G920, depending if you've got the PlayStation or the Xbox version of it. This is the Xbox version of it. I don't know how I'm going to use it in the living room because I've not got a table I can clamp it to or anything in there. Here in my office, I'm hoping after a little bit of a tidy up and pushing my keyboard back, it'll clamp to my desk. But I will be doing a review on this at a later time, see how far we get at it. Obviously I need to play around with it, make sure it works. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. So, as always, this is not me showing off in the realms of nah. What I've got, it's just stating the facts of my wife spoiling me for Christmas. And it's not, I've had this question before. It's not as if I don't spoil my wife back. It's just that she's private in the realms of what she wants to show to the internet and everything like that. So, things, but don't worry, she's been spoiled too in the realms of what presents I've got her. And she's very happy with what she's got. And after all, that's what it's all about really, isn't it, when it comes to swapping presents. Try to think of what the person you're getting the present for would like to have. Not just some random stuff like you're a Secret Santa. So, now that we've got all that out of the way, yes, there's going to be a fair few videos coming. When they get made, I'm not too sure because I'm quite busy these days. But I definitely want to be making videos on what I've got and other things as well. So, in the meantime, what do? Ah yes, we go down into the description, check out the links to the Discord and the Patreon. Then you go across and click all the links for the likes, the subscribes and the notification bell. But as always, happy gaming.